Hey, how are you,
There you
Bobby?
are. Hey,
Yeah,
I'm good, thanks.
good, good,
I'm all
good.
happy. I'm wearing my Blues gear today. Blues
I
made the
know it.
playoffs.
I know it.
I'm a hockey
So,
guy.
Gen Xers, today we're going to talk about strategies on how you can deal with fear and uncertainty. There's a lot in the climate. It is raining on us everywhere we walk. And we want to really talk about
A little bit.
yeah, just a little bit, a little bit. We want to talk about three key things that we think is important. The first two, they're kind of common sense and we talk about them a lot, but it's relevant to speak about. Just as a
Mhm.
reminder, because sometimes we kind of shut ourselves down and when we get in a state of fear, when we get in a state of
Yeah.
not having clarity, we
Oh, yeah.
tend to walk away from these two things. And then the third one is the
And
point.
everything else.
Yes, yes. And the third
Yes.
one is really what, is relevant in this day and this time and this space.
Is staying informed but limiting your exposure
Yeah,
to what is negative. Yeah.
yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. So, I mean, the first one is with anything is just acknowledge and validate what you're going through. Use that be the sky moment and just don't anchor to the emotional weight of what you're going through because you're not the only one going through it. It might feel that way, and that can sometimes make you go in Hermitville where you isolate yourself.
Yes. Yes. I have an example. I have an example of that. May I?
Yes.
One of my people came to me a couple of weeks ago at my work, and they said that there was a complaint lodged against me.
Right.
And I just made that face like, oh, God. And I said, that's not aimed at you. It's just that whenever you come in here, I feel like I'm the only person that's ever in trouble. And she goes, trust me, you're not. Like,
Hmm.
couldn't have said it any bolder. And that
Right.
just really gave me something like, I'm not alone. Like, other people suffer with this too. It's just they're not going around wearing a badge that said, I had 2 complaints about me today, or I just got talked to by the boss, or something like that. They're
Right.
just, dealing with it. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So, I mean, the first step of it with acknowledging and, kind of just accepting and validating is you have to be honest with yourself and knowing
Hmm.
that, there are people that have it worse and there are people that have it better, and that is okay.
Hmm.
And then take it a little bit further where your emotions, you are not defined by your emotions. They are just, they kind of pass like the
Hmm.
clouds. That's why I say be the sky. Don't anchor in to that emotion. It is okay to have those emotions. I want to be clear there because that
Yes, it is.
is that is your kind of breadcrumb to give you a aha moment of there's something I need to work on today. And that's a
Hmm.
positive thing,
Hmm.
you know? So, you
It
know,
truly is.
yeah. So really just acknowledge, really just validate, and don't do the terminal uniqueness view of like this is only happening to me because it's not. I can guarantee you somebody else has gone through
Terminal
this.
uniqueness view. That is correct. And it's easy to snap into that, just like the example that I gave of myself a couple of
Yeah.
weeks ago. I should know better than that. But what did I do? I immediately felt that. However, I worked myself out of it. So going there is one thing. Being the clouds is another. You go there, you're like, wait a second, I need to change this, and then
Right.
change it. Don't stay there. Don't take it out on other employees. Don't take it out on your wife or your dog or your husband or whatever. Just know that you're not the only one, and it's okay.
Yeah. I like to phrase it as don't wade through your emotional marsh. People that are hunters will understand this. Walking through the marsh, it's slow, it's tedious, it's hard work. And when we wade through our emotions, it's tedious, it's hard work. And sometimes we just have to take that, kind of drone view and be the sky to understand where we're at. So,
Mhm.
just first thing, acknowledge and validate. And the second thing really is to focus on self-care and relationships. A lot of
Oh
people,
yeah.
when they become overwhelmed, when they become uncertain or have fears, they go into their little hermitville. It's a theme, my friends.
I love it. I love that you call it Hermitville. Anybody else would say like a hermit's cave, but a kid is, hi, welcome to Hermitville. Who are
I know.
you?
And I have even said that, like when I catch myself, because this is human
Uh-huh.
nature, my friends. Just because I've had a lot of education, I've coached people, and I've done stuff, doesn't mean this doesn't happen to me. That's a
Right.
bias, that I'm going to be okay 100% of the time. Nobody is okay
Mhm.
100% of the time. So allowing yourself to really, you need bumper rails in your day of your morning routine, your night routine. It kind of gives yourself a cue of what is expected. It triggers your body into a response. But
Yes, it does.
if we get totally out of rhythm, your body is all over the place. That's where you have insomnia. That's where you have that angst and worry where the little record player is going spinning like 101 times around all night long,
Hmm.
or a
Yep.
thousand and one times depending on your, the state you're in. But
Yeah.
those little self-care, like, getting up, simple things like when you open your eyes, just say, I'm happy and grateful to be alive, you know, and making your bed, doing your affirmations in the mirror in the morning, releasing, when you're taking a shit, releasing what doesn't serve you that's in your mind. Yeah, we talked about coupling care, our coupling activities. I mean, when you go to
Uh-huh.
the bathroom, you're releasing, so you
Excuse me.
might as well release those toxic things that are in your mind. It's a complete
Okay, so
body
that is
function.
funny. That is funny, but you're not wrong. All at the same time. I should have had you move your mic back a little bit. It's blocking you, and you're like chewing on it. No. Okay, there. Fine. Okay, don't chew on it. Because oh,
My mic just I totally knocked it off.
oh, now we've made a blooper reel. Now we need to put together a blooper reel. That's awesome. So what did you do, Bobby? I don't know. I completely effed up the show by asking her to move her mic back.
I
Uh,
ripped
if
it.
you've if you've just joined us, welcome to Handyman's Corner, where we're going to talk about how to install a microphone on a desk. Or she's just
I'm just holding it. I'm just holding
that
it.
just looked so inappropriate for a minute. I'm just going to look the other way. Yeah. So no, what I was trying to do is just move it away because you were
I know. I
over-modulating.
was too aggressive with it. I was too aggressive.
Yeah.
I
Well,
was.
because it's too close, and sometimes when you get excited, you get loud. I don't know if you
I
know that.
do. I do. That I've
Yeah.
been told that my whole life.
It's not a bad thing. I'm just saying that I didn't want
My
our
whole life.
listeners to have an overmodulated, you know, person, an
Yes.
overmodulated Kinsey coming at them.
I know. I know.
Um,
So
so anyway,
so
um,
one, accept and acknowledge, and then two, just doing self-care. This requires also to stay connected to unity and community. If you're into
mhm,
gardening, get into a gardening group, get into um, things that give you purpose, that you feel
mhm,
connected to the world, not
mhm,
escapism activity, but things that, I mean, just recently started gardening and I feel so much more connected to the world, to the universe, to this cycle
mhm.
of life. And
There, shut my window. I'm listening.
it really allows me to understand, you know, act, assess, and adjust. Because with gardening, nothing's guaranteed. Some plants aren't going to grow, so it might have been something I put in it or didn't put in
Hmm.
it. So it's really
Yeah.
a cool life lesson with. For me, it's gardening. For you, it might be music or playing the piano. Just something where you can really light your creative self, your imaginative self, your childlike self
Mm-hmm.
into the equation. Because when we're in that state, things are possible. Things are possible.
I get you. So, acknowledging the feelings and acknowledging the uncertainty and knowing that you're not the only one is going to be very, very important, because it's so easy to go into what, Hermitville?
Hermitville.
Hermitville. You go to Hermitville. Don't go to Hermitville. If it says take a left, go right.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with isolating yourself for a time to be reflective. That's different. That's being productive.
Yes, nothing is 100%. So yes, you're
Yeah.
correct. You do
Yeah.
sometimes need a moment. And you were saying something about doing activities that go along with the healing. For instance, you said something about gardening. Great idea. I love that.
Mhm.
As the kids say, touching grass.
Yeah.
You're touching earth, you're doing things, you're moving, you're out in the sun, carry the four,
Yeah.
all of that good stuff. Doing that 100% of the time, probably not it. Might want to sit down and read a book later and
Yeah.
just take off into the magic of a book. And that time combined with the other one, there's learning and there's resetting, and you put them both together. It's like
I
a
mean,
Reese's peanut butter cup.
if you like to run, join a running group. If you like to go for walks or hiking, the key thing
Mhm.
is to keep yourself moving. Because you
One of
can
my
release,
mottos:
yes, you
just
release
keep moving.
you release so much energy that's stuck in your nervous system. And that's
Hmm.
where anxiety comes in. That's where depression comes in. And that's when you get down a negative path of where your self worth can become in question.
Hmm.
Um, your, you know, I think worthiness and self esteem is key there. You just don't feel worthy, or you don't feel like you have enough esteem in
Hmm.
yourself. Um, the last point that I think that is very relevant in this time and space, there
Hmm.
is such a flood of news. And news is not a positive intake of information for the most part. It's quite
Hmm.
negative. They have, their phishing headlines, their gaslighting, their craziness. It's all to get a
Hmm.
click. So, really allow yourself space to filter, filter what you're listening to. Instead of having, the news on in the background, listen to a podcast, listen
Yes,
to positive music.
totally agree.
There's a
Yep.
lot of science with frequency music. You can listen to different frequencies. I listen
Hmm.
to 528 frequency.
Hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hurts. Yeah.
Hmm.
If you just look up healing frequency music, you can get, you just have to put that in the YouTube search bar and you'll get a ton.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
you, you can
That or
get,
Chat GPT, you'll find it pretty
yeah.
darn quick.
Or if you want, focus music or, something else than the news. Because I don't know about you, when we were going in 2020, it was like catnip to a cat. Like I was on the news because excuse me, my previous, career was nursing. So, and at that time it was after I was still going through surgeries.
Mhm.
And sorry, my phone just keeps ringing and I thought I shut it off. Um,
All right.
yeah. So, I was going through surgery, so I couldn't work on the front lines. And when you work as a nurse, you have this sense of duty, or at least I did. And for
Mhm.
me, not able to help was very hard. So I watched the news 24/7. And
Excuse me.
my healing dramatically decreased during that time. My anxiety was very high. I very much went into Hermitville. I mean, we kind of were in Hermitville, but even
We were. I had the sign right outside my door. Welcome to Hermitville.
I
Hello,
know,
I am
I
the
know.
mayor. Hello.
So, I mean, really limit what you put in your nugget because it will affect your mood, it will affect your energy, it will affect your focus, and it will
Yeah.
get you to a state of overwhelm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm big into heart math. Listen to things that replenish you. Well, whether that's like your own self talk, whether that's a podcast or what's on TV or the radio, it matters. It
It
matters.
does matter. I
You know,
couldn't
and
agree with you more. Staying informed, limiting exposure, just like you were talking about COVID time. I never watched more news in my entire life.
yep, me too.
Never. We were cocooned, and that's what we were watching. Probably, an hour plus a day. A lot of people watched a lot more. I limit myself to about 6 minutes of news a day because I listen to this one station that gives me news at the top of the hour for 3 minutes. And I'm like,
Right,
if it didn't make the 3 minutes, it's not important.
right.
A little bit of world, a little bit of America, a little bit of stock exchange, and we're done. That's all we
I,
needed. Just a little kiss and mwah, just that's it. We're done.
yeah.
But
I
no,
mean,
staying informed and limiting exposure is key
yeah, I
because
mean,
you want to limit that negativity.
yeah, and I mean, we I know it's difficult and I'm not going to pretend like it's not in this, in mid-April of 2025, you can't go anywhere without hearing quite a bit of what's going on in the world and what's going on in the United States.
Mhm.
But you can set boundaries for yourself and for others. Because some people just want to be in that abyss of negativity, you know, and that's okay. This isn't judgment, but you don't have to live in it. You don't have to live in it.
That's correct. You don't have to live in it.
So just to
Wow.
give yourself some grace and some understanding
Hmm.
and just keep connections with people that, lift you up and you lift them up. Your core people. You don't need to allow space for everybody, but there's something with unity and community. There's power in that. So allow
Hmm.
yourself to absorb some of that energy and allow yourself to, give off some of that energy because that's how we move forward with uncertainty and with fear in our life.
Hmm. I can't say it any better than that. I don't have anything to tag on to it. Usually I do. But no, seriously, that was really well said because um, it's not simple to us, but I'll bet that it's more practiced. Can we say that?
Yeah.
That we get into this funk, if you will, or
Hmm.
Hermitville, or the funk of Hermitville,
Yeah.
and then we go like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I am not thinking correctly. Let's see. What do I need to go back to? Let's look at our tools and see what we have. And like I said to you earlier, one of my take two, one of my mottos, just keep moving. I do
Yeah.
it for like calorie burning reasons. I do it for mental stimulation reasons. Um, like when I'm doing my practice, because I do some of my practice from right here, because I do telehealth, I have a
Right.
standing desk.
Right.
And I like the standing desk. It keeps me energized. Whereas when I go do my in session times in my other office, I'm sitting.
Right.
Because I mean, it would be weird to like stand like over a client and counsel them. So what seems to be the problem today? That would look weird, you know.
You're not
So we
more
don't want to do that.
authoritative, not mirroring, but
Yes, the authoritative positioning in the office. You walk into the manager's office, he's always like 5 feet high in the air, sitting in a chair. Come in, Mr. Merwin. Have a seat. Foom. Whoa, whoa, where am I? You know, you feel small because he wants you to. It's a psychological thing. So no, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't stand over my clients. That would be very, very odd. But Yeah,
Yes.
going back to the staying connected and, the feelings and the uncertainty, you're going to feel the uncertainty every now and again. You're going to have this jumbly feeling like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do right now?
Yep. Yep. And, you're not alone. Just know that.
Nope. Nope, you're
Um,
not alone.
you are human.
We deal with it. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. We are human, and this is being in emotional states is part of that. And just really acknowledge and validate what you're going through,
Excuse me.
and that you're okay and you're loved, and just accept, and then just really allow yourself to really embrace self-care even when you don't want to release that angst, that energy, that release it from your nervous system, because a lot of stuff gets stuck in our nervous system and it causes a lot of
Mm-hmm.
problems. And really watch what you're listening to, you know?
Give
And,
yourself grace. Grace.
yep.
Grace.
Love yourself, my friends. Love
Love
yourself.
yourself.
Yes.
It's hard to do. I had to learn how to do it.
Yep. Well, sometimes with loving yourself, it requires a catalyst of giving yourself permission.
Yes, it does. That is perfectly said.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
you
We're
have
both
a
suffering
heart,
from allergies very badly.
we both are. We're coming off of it, man. We're
Oh,
both.
God. We were talking before we started this, and we were just both hacking like crazy. And I'm like, I don't know how we're going to get through this.
Yep. Like
Pardon
we
me.
talked about last week, the gremlins, just blew up last week here in
Got a
Virginia.
couple more weeks of this.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So, um, yeah, so, in uncertain times when you feel fear, just allow yourself some grace and know that you're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
And there's power in unity and community. And there's
Mm-hmm.
power in boundaries and self-care. And there's power in, you know, limiting what you allow into your circle of self. It's super powerful when you can do that, and it can
Mm-hmm.
really give yourself purpose. Get out of that
Just give me a
hermit.
show idea. I'm writing it down.
So, like and subscribe, do all that fun jazz. Just know that we love you. And we would love to
Mm-hmm.
hear your aha moments, your nuggets that you got, any topics that you would like us to talk about, because we're genuinely doing this from our hearts to your hearts, to
Yep,
make the
we
world
are.
a better place. And that's our
Mm-hmm.
sole mission, is to really kind of just let people know that they're not alone. And
And this is a pay it forward for me, and I'm sure
yeah,
it is for
it
you.
is.
Because I had many people in my world, whether I was paying for it when I was in school or whether it was counselors that I saw before that, these were people that helped me get on the straight and narrow. And
Right.
I'm not sure where I would be right now if it wasn't for their guidance and tutelage. So I feel that pay it forward. Try
Exactly.
not to die, pardon me.
You're fine. And in my case, I took, I speak from the presence of, I was doing a lot of things wrong, but I was doing some things right. But I was in a very much trauma response, about 9 years ago, because I was, going through a divorce and whatever. And it took me getting hit by a truck and almost dying, losing my arm, going through 24 surgeries. Learn from my experiences. You don't need to be hit by a truck to change. You don't. And
That's true. I mean, I'm not trying to take the piss out of what you're saying. She's exactly right. She's actually giving you something so you don't have to be hit by the truck.
yeah,
Or we are
because,
trying to, I should say.
yeah. And I really don't think, if I wouldn't have been hit by the truck and the brilliant, beautiful people that helped me afterwards, if I wouldn't have had that,
Yep.
I don't know if I would be here today. I was just
Yep.
in a very destructive pattern. I felt
Mm-hmm.
very broken. I felt very unworthy. I
Mm-hmm.
had a lot of cultural biases that I was anchoring to. I was, close to 40. I wasn't married. I was divorced. I didn't have kids. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
check the boxes, my friends. I didn't check the
Mm-hmm.
boxes of what society thought was success. And
Yeah.
sometimes we have to let go of what other people think to really harness our essence, our truth, and our purpose.
Yep.
So embrace it, my friends, and learn
Yep.
from other people. I mean, I still to this day learn from other people because I never want to
Yeah.
be in that state where I'm so much in the gutter of my mind um, that I feel there's no way out and doing horrible coping mechanisms and
Mm-hmm.
craziness. And I say
Right.
that, I say that with love. I wasn't crazy. I was just saying it was just craziness. Um, and it sometimes, we have these crisis moments, and you might be having this crisis moment in your life right now. And that is okay. That is okay.
Yeah,
Just
it
know
is
that.
okay, and it's nice to know what you have learned from your past.
Mhm,
And the reflection on the past, I'd like to note, is just that it's a reflection. It's not a travel. You're not going back there and sitting in it
mhm.
and like trying to wash around in the muck and the mire.
Yeah,
You're just looking at it like I tell people there's a windshield in front of you and a rear view mirror. And the rear view mirror is this big for a reason. So you just glance back and see what's there and you can go forward. And,
exactly.
we've talked about some of the things that you and I have done in our past.
Mhm.
I wrote all yours down. I'm writing a book about it. If you'd like to buy it, I have it right here. It's called. No, I'm kidding. Um, but yeah, I mean, the things that you shared with me and vice versa. It was like it made you more human
Yeah,
to me because when I first met you and how we met, it was kind of like we were presented to each other,
right.
like a matchmaker did it. It kind
Yeah,
of was like that, wasn't it? Like a
yeah, it
matchmaker,
was.
like
It
matched us
was.
together. And then I got to know you a little bit and listen. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. She's not just, I read a book about how to make things better in your life, and I'm going to talk about this. No,
Yeah,
you went through some shit,
I did. I did.
both in your life because of your own processing powers at that time,
Yeah,
and then the truck.
yeah.
So, if you want to talk about somebody who knows and has been there, Kinsey's been there. And I am really, I love being here with you.
Yeah, me too.
I love talking about these things with you. I usually learn something every time. Usually more when I'm not coughing or trying to
Yeah,
hold it back. A couple
yeah.
weeks and it'll all be done.
It'll all be
But
done.
man, I
The
tell you,
pollen
I don't know what it's
gremlins
like
will be
where you
gone.
are, but April around here is murder.
Yeah,
Pardon me.
yeah.
And this is on drugs, by the way. Legal.
He is
Legal.
in, we're on the opposite side of the country. So he's in Oregon and I am in Virginia. And we both are going through some hella allergies right now. And I think
Oh
pretty
yeah.
much everywhere, uh, people I don't know what it is, but this year it's been really bad for a lot of people from what I've,
I feel it's a little bit worse than it was last year by far.
yeah, yeah.
So, but I think
And
it's one of those things that
so
ebbs and flows, just like everything else.
that's why our voice is
Anyway,
a little scratchy, might be a little
mine's
nasally.
way scratchy. Yeah.
So, give us some
Thanks for
grace,
taking
my
my advice
friend.
today. If you need some help, just contact me. All right.
Give us some
Sound like
grace.
Beetlejuice over here.
I know.
Pardon
So,
me.
I think
Anyway,
that's a good place to cap it.
I think it is.
Yeah, so subscribe, like we said, and just know that we love you and you're not alone. And there's
Nope, not
community,
alone.
there's unity, and there are people that
Hmm.
are going through exactly what you're going through, and you're not
And
alone.
write something to us. If you want to like hear something about what you want to hear about, put a comment
Mhm.
down. Hit the like, and we'll be back next week. In 2 weeks, mind you, I'm going to be in Vegas. I'm going to be doing this from my hotel room.
Ah, look at
I know,
that.
or the pool. I might go to the pool.
Oh,
I think
let's
what I
do
do.
that. That
I
would
think
be
I'll take
fun.
my lappy Take the
There
lappy
you
out to
go.
the pool. Get some sunshine. Yeah.
Woohoo!
Hopefully the music's not too loud.
Chicka chicka.
So exactly. All right.
All right. We will see you
Thanks for
next
being
week,
here.
my friends.
Thank you for
Yes.
being part of this. Thank you for being
Thank
with me, Kinsey.
you. Thank you. I appreciate you. And I appreciate everybody out there. You guys take care.
Okay. See you later. See you next week.
Bye.